You might have seen on the channel, we talked about a salvage Tesla Model 3 Performance that had a pretty interesting price of around $39,000, or if I remember correctly, it was $39,000. Well, Jeff reached out and he wanted to go take a look at this salvage Tesla Model 3, and I figured, hey, why not? It's pretty interesting. I also want to take a look at it as well. So today, I'm joining Jeff to go take a look at this 2024 white salvage, repaired salvage Tesla Model 3 Performance, and there's some interesting things about it that the owner has done to fix it and make it more operable as well. So I want to take a look at it and see if it's actually good or not, and to really figure out, is this a good deal or not? Let's jump into it. And the Tesla Model 3 Performance market has been pretty interesting so far. We've seen CarMax dump them, or a handful of different examples where CarMax has been selling them for like $39,000 to $41,000. And what makes it even more interesting is that the 2025 Tesla Model 3 model year for the Performance has already been released as well, and inventory is already starting to stack up. And so this vehicle is going to be an interesting one because I'm not sure who's actually going to be buying this vehicle and what price could make sense for this vehicle, because at $39,000 there's already clean options already out there. And so we're going to figure out to see what's the bottom line price, and it really's got to be a lot lower for it to be a great deal. All right, so we just left, and very interesting vehicle. I would say it's not as clean as, I mean, maybe I'm setting my expectation way too high, because it is a salvage repaired Model 3 Performance, and I'll show you all the pictures of what it looked like before. And what's really interesting with this is I'm pretty sure I can look into this vehicle and figure out how much it was actually sold for, and then try and guesstimate like how much the repairs are and everything. So maybe I'll do that when I get home. But taking a look at the pictures from before, there was a lot of damage that was repaired. The front of the vehicle, the whole side of the vehicle, a couple airbags on the inside, and also one of the rear quarter panels as well. And so I guess I had high hopes, because if it was repaired, it should be in a lot better condition. But as you see in the videos, there's still dings on it, and maybe they use like older parts from newer Teslas as well to kind of just throw it on instead of, which makes sense, right? I guess if you're buying a salvage vehicle, you're not going to repair it with brand new parts. You're going to try and find cheaper parts that are coming from older Teslas to try and repair it for as low as you possibly can, because you're trying to maybe sell it in the end or keep it or whatever. But all around, I mean, a couple of rims were curved, there was a couple dings in certain areas. The front trunk doesn't necessarily match up with the front bumper. And there was like scratches all around the rear and the sides as well. I remember seeing this Tesla Model 3 Performance really early on for like $39,000, and I just checked it again. He's dropped it down to $37,800. And when we discussed it with him and talked with him, I mean, before we did that, we negotiated a little bit. But before we did even that, we did drive it, and we drove it around the block, and it felt pretty solid. It felt like a Tesla should. It definitely felt like a Model 3 Performance. You could feel all the different acceleration. There was a little bit of a weird rear motor noise, which was kind of interesting, but all in all, I mean, it drove perfectly fine. And on top of that, which I didn't know, the owner was able to get this recertified with Tesla so that you can supercharge this vehicle as well. I've heard in the past that some salvage repaired vehicles, you can't actually supercharge it, but this one you actually could, which is pretty cool. But after driving it and then negotiating with them, and he seemed very knowledgeable, and it seems like he does a lot of the work himself, does all the mechanical work, and then for the paint work, he actually has like a friend that does it and helps him with that. But we talked about like battery replacements and everything, and how it's like a lot more cheaper to do that as well. But then we got to the negotiation, and you remember right now he's got the vehicle listed for $37,800, and I was really trying to do the math, because these days you can see the Model 3 Performance market is crashing at a pretty rapid pace. CarMax is selling them anywhere from $39,000 to $41,000. So for this vehicle to be priced similar to that, I'm not sure it makes sense at all. And so we really got down to the negotiations, and I really feel like this vehicle is worth like maybe like a $33,000 to $34,000. You need like a big spread between this one and a cleaner or a regular used vehicle that has full warranty and everything. But it seems like the seller, he was pretty much locked down at a $35,500 or $36,000 price range, which I think is just a little bit too high for this vehicle. But let me know what you guys think on that price. But in the end of the day, we couldn't come to an agreement, and we all left. But let us know, what price do you think this vehicle should actually be for? And what do you think about the condition of this Model 3 Performance salvage repaired vehicle? But thanks for watching. Please hit that like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.